Good morning, good morning. And if you're following me in Ireland, then you are probably aware that today is a bank holiday Monday. And obviously it isn't in the UK and in very many other countries. So I decided to carry on and do what I do on a Monday anyway. So it's Halloween week. And you may or may not celebrate this or observe it or carry out rituals. I'm aware that trick-or-treating has kind of become synonymous with Halloween, and it's very much about the children and all of that. And it may be that some of the original powerful meaning around this ancient Celtic observation of the transition that we're going through at the moment at this time of year has got a little bit lost. But interestingly, the whole concept of trick-or-treating does actually pay into or tap into one of the themes of Halloween. So there are lots of themes, the main one being that we are transitioning, that we are actually coming out of light and going into darkness, both literally and figuratively. And that if we are in any way tapped into the rest of the natural world, that we are observing that the trees and the plants are shedding what they no longer need. Actually, it's not quite what they no longer need. It's what they recognise that they can't sustain over the colder and darker months, that it will take too much energy, and also it's rather pointless for many reasons, to continue to produce leaves or flowers or fruit. So that's what's happening, is that things are not, they're not actually dying. They're dying back, if that's a gardening term. They're being relinquished, being temporarily put on hold, if you like, in order to conserve energy and to go deep inside and be able to come out of the darkness and the cold and able to create new life when that period of time is over. And obviously that's something that we do every single night. We embrace the darkness in order to rest and recharge so that we can rise again the following day and create new life, refreshed and invigorated. Well, that's the theory anyway. So that theme of transition, but also duality, polarity, so darkness and light, sweet and sour, trick or treat. What are the other ones? Warmth and cold, and also actually past and present, and future to an extent, but past and present certainly. Those things we're invited to touch in on. We're invited to recognise that those dualities, those seeming opposites, actually exist in all of us, and that we don't necessarily have to choose one or the other. We can embrace all of it. We can have both and all within us in order to create wholeness. And it's just becoming conscious of which one on that sliding balancing scale is most appropriate to us at any given time. So when we're thinking about the past, this is a time where traditionally, not just in Celtic culture, think of the Mexican Day of the Dead, where we were invited to touch back into the past, to be able to let go of it and honour it, and know where we came from. So to remember our ancestors, to think about our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and all of the people that came before them, and to just remember that if it were not for them, we wouldn't be here, for better or worse. So I invite you to remember that over the next few days, over this next week, and to touch into photographs, objects that perhaps belonged to past generations, memories, anything that helps us to remember them and to realise that they are integrated within us and that they are part of us and that we have learnt from them. And we've learnt from them, both in a deliberate way because they've deliberately taught us things, but also there are lots of learnings that we've had that are more on a subconscious level. If only that we know how to survive, that we're resilient, that we have skills and values and personality traits, if you like, that have enabled us to be here right now. And I don't know about you, but around my house, I have kind of little altars to those that I want to remember in my past and my family. Kind of unwittingly, I just like having little displays of lovely photographs, objects that remind me of that person or that part of the family. And it's a good time, I think, to just touch into those because we can take them for granted, the things that we have around our house. And just remember them. I was actually spending a long time yesterday with a lovely photograph of my paternal grandmother and her sisters, a very formal turn of the century photograph of them in their finery. But they look so fresh and bright and young and hopeful. And it's there all the time, but I deliberately spent some time really looking at it yesterday and remembering both my lovely grandmother and my great aunt. I didn't know any of my other great aunts, but I did know one. And remembering what they gave to me as a child when I knew them, but also everything that they went through to create my own father, and what that's meant for me in my life. So that's what I'm talking about, is to just remember and honour where you came from, and perhaps seeing the lighting of candles or the burning of bonfires as an opportunity to let go of anything that you may be carrying from the past, from our ancestors, that it's time to let go of, that isn't perhaps serving us terribly well right now, and to focus instead on the things that are. So I'm a great fan of ritual. So even if it's writing something down and just throwing it in the bonfire, letting it go, shedding what you no longer need to make room for creating new life, the life that you want going forward. And I'm also aware that sense of duality and conflict, I'll rephrase that sense of duality of, having several parts of yourself can create conflict, can seem as if they're in opposition, but actually they very seldom are. They're just a bit stuck. And often we can benefit from having somebody to guide us through that and to understand it better, and to transform the energy that's being spent in opposing and conflict, and to allow it to open up and for both parts to come together and work together for your greatest good and your highest power. There's a fabulous technique, method that we use in QTT called a parts integration, which I just love for that. There are many other methods in QTT, and there's also beautiful, beautiful remedies, homeopathic remedies, that enable us to embrace all of the parts of ourselves and to integrate them and to enable us to go forward feeling whole and able to do whatever we want to do. So that is it really on this Bank Holiday Monday, and the Halloween week is just to touch into the real meanings behind Halloween and not to just get too immersed in wearing fancy dress costumes and eating lots of sweets. So yeah, that's it. So I won't take up any more of your time. I hope you're having a lovely Bank Holiday Monday if you're here in Ireland, and if you're not, if you're working, then I equally hope that you're having a wonderful Monday and enjoy the Halloween week. Okay, take care. Bye.